What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol WTRH for Waitr Holdings. On the left-hand side, we have the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, the 30-minute intraday time frame. First things first, because we have not yet covered this one together on the channel, let's start by giving ourselves a daily roadmap, just pointing out obvious areas of support and resistance. Then we'll talk more nuance as we drill down to the 30-minute perspective. So that's going to do it as quick and simple levels, but obviously zooming in, the nuance to talk about here is, of course, the gap up. The catalyst was, of course, that JP Morgan or Morgan Stanley rather did reveal they have some stake in the company. Regardless, it led to a move higher. And on the intraday session, you can certainly see a fair bit of volatility, right? Coming all the way up, all the way down just about, and closing fairly strong back up towards the highs of the session. So nonetheless, certainly some trades to be had here inside of this name. In terms of swing trading this, though, let me just scrunch up the daily chart and give you a little bit of perspective. Not the prettiest chart, obviously in a firm downtrend ever since about February of earlier on this year. So to me, not the prettiest thing, again, to hold as a swing trade. Let's just quickly see if we can get a resistance trend line to hold here. So coming in for the swing out method, obviously we would have broken that on today's session, but that looked fairly accurate to me. Again, using the anchor here, touch 1-ish here, 2 and 3. Obviously that's now broken on today's session. So regardless, still in a downtrend. Obviously we didn't even make a new higher high up and over this 142 mark. Could it happen? Yeah, it could happen. So let's talk a little bit more nuance in terms of the 30 minutes. So what I want to do is just point out how crazy the day was, right? Let's take out the Fibonacci's here, come in from the low of the day up to the high, and basically just get a sense for what was going on. At first, don't get me wrong, on this little lower wick here of that second 30-minute candle did hold the 38.2. Obviously, after that, it was history, making a move all the way to the 61.8, but it reversed out of that. Could never really accept higher out of the 38.2, then moved lower. So all of this chop back and forth would lead me to believe there's a lot of short-term traders getting involved in this stock, and they're pushing around the prices because they don't have good trade location, right? Basically, anyone who tried to buy this pullback looking for a move all the way to get back up into here, they might have stopped out, right, as we moved back down under the lows, which caused this to happen. Then you get people who say, wow, it's coming close to the low of day, maybe I might buy it up here, and that causes something like this to happen, right? So there's all of this push and pull based on short-term traders, and the fibs aren't really helping us out too much here. So basically, what I would advise you watch out for is simply just horizontal areas, right? Where are the areas of interest based on these short-term traders? So there should be a breakout up and over 129. As we know, the first target would, of course, be the high of day at 136. And then after that, you can monitor for continuation into 142, a much more important level from the daily perspective here. After, up above that area, technically speaking, there is more gap to fill overhead when we get, let's grab the other tool here. When we get into, let's pick that level out at 154, right? So that's the upside case here inside of Waitr. Obviously, the downside case would be a failure to break out up and over this, leads to a rollover to here, and that's your critical support. If this goes, I would argue the low of day would flush, and we do start filling the gap underneath. Now, I'm not saying it has to fill all in one day, all in 1 week even, but if we do take out $1.10 here, the anticipated reaction would be lower to get back down towards that 85-cent mark. So that's going to wrap it up. This is really a short-term trading opportunity based on this volatility and the volume coming in. If volume tapers off here, look out below. I would imagine that this makes a slow and steady grind lower, as most of these things do when the interest dries up, right? It doesn't take a sort of rocket scientist to see. That's kind of the direction of the stock. So that's going to wrap it up. If you enjoyed the video or learned anything new today, let me know in the comments section or by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description, and all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.